We're Nat and Abby. This is Bear and Paluche. And this is our van Towanda, our home for the last 2 years. 5 months ago, we began making some major changes to our tiny house on wheels. We're finally finished and ready for a new adventure. After saying some important goodbyes, we are off to start our next journey of life on the open road. Join us every week as we embark on new challenges, creative outlets, and a whole lot of exploration. We haven't made it very far. We are in Charleston, which is just an hour and a half away from where we were building the van. We're here saying goodbye to friends and just getting ready to hit the road. Right now we are hanging out at James Island County Park, which is so nice. There's a dog park here and the dogs absolutely love it. We've got our own personal little water view, picnic table. I gotta go seal the deck, so I'm about to go do that. Say that every time. How'd it go? Sweet, deck is sealed. I love this toaster box. Look at it. Every time we leave to go to a store or something, I look back and I'm just like walking like this, like, I live in that. That's important, I think. That it's, you know, to love where you live. You gotta really love it. I just love it even more. It's so cute. It's cuter than it was last time. After sealing the deck, Natalie decided to take a look at our water pump, which has been giving us some issues this week. It's not looking good. The little filter at the bottom is like leaking. You know, I'm glad I came back here. It's dripping quite a bit. Wow. I just put my lip on this thing. I've been trying to troubleshoot the water pump. We went 2 years with it flipped upside down. We're having a problem with the pump not getting the pressure, so it just keeps running after we cut the water off. I realized after watching a YouTube video that there's a little spot on the water pump where you can put an Allen wrench and adjust the pressure, but the problem is since it's flipped, it's hitting the wheel well and I can't actually get to it. So we're going to have to drain all the water and loosen all the plumbing and then, you know, flip it and then tighten everything back. The other problem being that when we installed the water tank, we have it flipped so that the water lines have to come from this back area, which just doesn't make any sense. And then when we need to drain it, the drain is all the way back here. Well, I'm trying to drain the water, but it doesn't have a way to flow downwards. Ay. The biggest problem being that when I pulled this filter out, there is literally like shards of plastic, like hard plastic pieces coming out when the water is flowing. And that is disgusting and really stressing me out because I'm wondering how long this has been a problem. I don't know if it's like plastic from the actual tank. I mean, we're definitely going to clean it, run water and clean it through before we add our water back. But we just got a new water filter as well for our drinking water. And if this plastic stuff is getting into that filter, that's a huge problem. And also, we can't be drinking plastic. So I've got to figure out what is happening there. You know how this goes. You know how this goes. So me and Abby are just going to be filming what is going on for the next couple weeks. It's a weird transition for us, and adventures will be coming soon, but not until we figure this problem out. We got up really early this morning and left Charleston and came to Walterboro to get some new all-terrain tires and oil change. Nice new tread. Hopefully one day we'll be able to afford new rims because these babies are looking a little sad, but the tires are nice. So we are back dealing with the water tank. What a fun surprise you brought Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to be installing this backup camera. Instead, we spent all day flipping the water tank. Now we have a very simple solution for when we ever need to, if we ever need to drain the water. So this is right here and our hose can attach to that. Gonna add another metal fitting right here, just coming up like here so we can fill the water. Yeah, and everything's just nice and located right where we need it to be. You guys, I'm saying goodbye to them tomorrow. It's going to be hard. It's been an amazing couple of months and we are ready. We are finally taking off. In a couple of days, we have to go back to Charleston for a few things, but hang in there and we're gonna have some adventures for you. We gotta go to Florida and get one more very vital thing done on the van. We'll talk about that later. But anyways, I gotta get back to work. Today's the day we're supposed to be heading out, saying goodbye to my parents, and we got the back water tank reconfigured and everything was fine. All the flow was good. We were worried about it leaking. And then I happened to look down low and it was leaking straight from here. The other problem is we have a huge backup build in the pipe, so I had to take everything out and I'm trying to snake out whatever the hell got stuck. That's how it goes.
Still troubleshooting problems.
Always troubleshooting problems. One thing of advice, make sure you really want to live in a van and deal with all of this. It'll be worth it in the end, but you gotta have some patience, I tell you that.
All right, the water is flowing.
All right.
Problem solved. Bye.
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 Love you.
We'll see ya.
So I get to see Deborah and my sister in Maine for my birthday, but I don't know when I'm gonna see Harry again, so it's hard, you know. I need to go take a walk.
I feel crazy right now.
Wow, I've never felt this many emotions at one time. It's so crazy. Alright, let's go.
I love you so much. I love that you're laughing while you're crying. I can feel the emotion. Like it's
I'm so
bursting.
happy, but I'm also like, ah!
Quick pit stop to walk the dogs and gather our emotions.
The bugs are ridiculous. They're like these orange, they're all over your hair. Go ahead and sit in the crowd, okay? Get your tickets. Center stage.
Nice little trail, in spite of the flies. And we're the only ones here, so good pit stop. Taking lots of pit stops today to walk in nature. Feels so good to be back on the road and exploring new places.
It's just begun. A lot of fields.
I used iOverlander to find us a spot to park for the night, and it's right at the beach. It's more of a parking lot at the beach than at the beach, but we'll take it. That didn't go as planned. My pants are soaked. Natalie and I both decided that we're going to start keeping a regular journal, like write in it every day. Keeping a journal is really good for your mental health, and that's really important to us. We just want to take our journey to the next level, not just on the outside, but on the inside. So I'm excited for this. Something is starting to smell really good downstairs. I think we should go check and see what Natalie's got cooking for dinner.
Making a fried rice. First official dinner in the van on my new Dometic stove. I'm loving it. We're done with dinner. We're gonna watch the sunset, and I need to do my first journal entry. I think Abby was on the roof, told you that we're gonna start doing this. It's gonna hold me to once a day to like really get out whatever I have to say, even if it's just like, you know, I saw a sunset, you know, whatever it's gotta be. But I think it'll be good for me because my stomach's in knots. So we'll catch you tomorrow. So Abby's walking the dogs right now, and I wanted to take this time to sit and talk with you a bit. Yesterday we left Charleston for, I don't know, maybe the last time that we will be back, or at least for a really, really, really long amount of time. When we left and got on the road, I think everything hit me from the beginning of building this van to that point. It was something I've never quite felt before. Like, I had so many emotions going on. I've never really laughed and cried so hard at the same time. Prior to that, for days, my stomach was like really tied in knots. I think the reason being is I know for myself the type of person I am, that I feel so much. I have so much emotion constantly weighing on me. Sometimes that can seem like a curse or a burden, but you know, Abby's like, it's your gift. It is true. It's hard though when most people don't know how to just put them out there on the table for other people to witness. I think I need to use that to my advantage. I think the only way for me to be able to kind of get rid of this physical feeling of being stuck is to just purge it out. I think what's important about us sharing our life on social media is that we can be as candid as we want, and I think people do respect and appreciate that. I know all of our followers and friends that have been on this page for a long time have made a point to let me know how much they value what I say. That keeps me going. It keeps me in check with myself and what I am feeling. Yeah, I just want to sit here over coffee and kind of touch base with you. When we first started this journey over 2 years ago, we were kind of ignorantly bliss. When we took off the first time, it was like, whoa, cool. Like, we went off fast like everybody does. We were so consumed by just the visual beauty of the country. And a lot of the goals that I had set for myself, I didn't feel like at the end of that I really met. I think about that a lot because not a lot of people get so much time to be able to sit and process what it truly is that they want in their life, right? You're working, you have a family, you have kind of your set routine. The more progress in technology and the more that we have instant gratification, we don't have time to check in with ourselves. We don't have that time to sit and really think about what it is that we could do in life that maybe we didn't realize that we wanted. I got a lot of that. I got a lot of that experience being out in nature, being out in the woods for weeks on end, being out in, you know, a mountainscape, valley, you know, desert, wherever we were. It was funny because I didn't write as much as I thought that I would. I did not take advantage of being around the country and doing things with my, you know, my culinary background as much as I thought I would, other than going and drinking beer at all the cool breweries and eating all the good food. I didn't like try to go stage at places like I had told myself I would, which is, you know, you go into a kitchen and you work for like a day just to check out the kitchen and have that experience. We were just really set on being able to travel. There was no other outward goal. I respect that very much. I'm happy that I had that experience. But I think going into it now and realizing what it will take for us to sustain this life, really feel like I am taking advantage of my time, is setting in. Also, this journey building the van this time around, I built everything. Me and Abby designed all of her artistry, all these skills that I acquired that I didn't know that I was capable of. Subconsciously, I must have known on the road that this was building up and that I had this idea of a home. I made it happen, and I didn't have a lot of time at Wendy's to be able to really think about it. The fact that I did this, every day we were waking up working on the van for 5 months, which we had originally planned to only be back in the East Coast for, you know, till March, and now we are here going on into June. So that's almost a half a year that we ended up sitting and rebuilding this van. And with that time, I got to be with friends and family that I hadn't seen in 2 years. The whole time at Wendy's, it was just me and Abby at Wendy's working on the van for 5 months. You know, we saw maybe a few friends. but it was literally us with our heads down at Wendy's house doing this day in and day out. When you go from living on the road and having all this space and all this time to just hike and do whatever you want, and then you get back into society and you get back into your routine, it's jarring. It really is jarring. It's a different experience because, again, not a lot of people get to know what that's like. And as many people maybe that don't get to go and travel and do all that might think that that's, oh, well, you have all this time and you're lucky and this and that. But, it's a different beast when you're not used to being on that scheduled routine like most of society. I really started to get kind of depressed, and I noticed that all of that energy that I was feeling, I put into this van, what I needed to get out. The other side of that is after we finished building, we went back to Charleston. I mean, we had 1 week to try and cram in all of the relationships that I had built there, all of our friendships that we had built there, 1 week to see these people and to try and schedule slots to have these people that have been in our lives for a long, years and years and years at a time into 1 week. Through that time at Wendy's, I was going back and forth to Walterboro to see, Deb and Harry, my parents, and having Harry work on the van was something amazing. He didn't do that the first time, only a little bit. And, this time around, he really built that thing with me. And our relationship, it got so much tighter. I mean, I'm talking, they adopted me when I was 12 years old. And I mean, in the last, 3-4 months, I feel like we've been the strongest out of that whole time. There is something so amazing, equally amazing about living this way. When you're condensing so much feeling and so much love for somebody in a little bit of space, you get to realize a lot about those people. Your time is valuable. And when I was on the road, I think a lot about my relationships in my life and who means what, and the whys of maybe why we need to get closer or why we weren't closer, and you start to break those down. And so having that time with him was unbelievable. Meeting Wendy. Sometimes you never know there's people in your life that you need. With COVID and all that stuff, she works from home and single lady with her dogs, getting into a stranger's house. I think that was one thing on the road me and Abby were a little bit apprehensive about. We have a lot of people that are like, oh, come to my property, if you're ever in this town. And it's not that it's not amazing that people reach out. It's that it's hard for people to walk into a situation where you don't know somebody, put yourself out there. And we kind of withheld from that. And I think that's something that we're going to work on this and going forward is when people do reach out and want us to come to their town, and when we have the opportunity, that we will take it, because you just don't know what can grow from that. And going to Wendy's and making that decision to go build at her house, it's something I'll never forget in my life. And I've made a lifetime friend out of her. We both helped each other in so many ways. And it was such a beautiful experience. And it was the deepest relationship that we had built, me and Abby, outside of living in the van for over 2 years. All of the relationships in your life that you meet on the road are so amazing at how deep you can get with somebody in such a short period of time, but they're so fleeting. And so you still get that loneliness on the road. And so being able to stop with Wendy and learn about her life, and someone who is so different from us, we were able to become such good friends. And I actually realized how much of me was similar to her. Again, that's from taking a leap of faith. That's from taking a chance on somebody. And so I value that very much. The other side of that is friendships and people that have been in my life for years and years and years. I have to go and make a week's worth of time for them. And then after that week, we're back off again. And I don't know when I'll see most of these people. And honestly, some of them I won't ever see again. And I know that sounds intense, but Abby and I, we have plans to do the Pan American Highway. We want to do Alaska to Argentina. We love it out west so much. This is going to be years and years in the making of this kind of journey. And so really, truly, it's just naturally you're going to spread apart from a lot of people. I think yesterday, that just laughing and crying, and it was like I was purging so much of all of these feelings at once, and it felt amazing. And the reason I need to get this out and tell you this is because, holding all that in and is like, it was so physically draining for me, and I hadn't realized it. And I have not been writing as much as I want to. So that's why me and Abby are making a point to write a journal entry every single day. I did that last night. I was so tired and so just like not feeling it. But when I put the pen to paper, it was like I was looking outside myself. And when I came to, I had written 4 pages. And it's the best sleep I've had in a while. Now, my dreams were insane, but I'm not going to get into that. But it was just like this outer body experience. I realized how much that I needed that for myself. I have to value what I bring to the table, and being so emotionally in tune and having so much to feel, I need to use that to my advantage. And so that is my goal going forward. I've set a few goals for when we're on the road this time. I really want to value my time. If you're not used to sitting with yourself, things start to come up. There's no way around that. When you're in nature and there's nothing else distracting you, you have nothing else to do but to turn inward. And that is scary for a lot of people. But if you can get to that point, it is just, my writing is better than when I'm trying to say things out loud. I write a lot better at explaining what I mean. It's the essence of like what living is. If you can really sit with yourself and figure out who you are, it changes your dynamic on everything that you can do in life, and what you feel, your perspectives on what you feel like you can handle, and you really realize your humanity and how much more capable we all are. But you wouldn't realize that unless you could stop and pause your life. It's not easy. I think a lot of people see the pictures and all that, and they're just like, oh man, it's really so different from that on a daily basis. It's constant challenging. I realized yesterday that I am on a totally different path this time. I had those 2 years to be like, woo! And now it's like I have this next journey where it's about like unfolding who I am and really going for it, not holding back on anything, accepting that some friendships and relationships in my life won't be there, accepting that some of them will reveal how important they are, really challenging myself to love Abby and to be able to enhance what we have in our relationship, being in this very small space. One of the things I told Abby that I have not been doing for myself is doing more alone. I feel like when I was growing up with my mother, who's a single mother, I was an only child. That dependency that you get from that kind of relationship, which, she was the most loving parent and amazing person, and that dependency carried through my life. Realized that I could be very codependent in relationships, and it was scary to be on my own. And I know a lot of people are scared to be alone, but what I'm realizing now on the road is when I see Abby in her element and see just how independent she is, I realize how important that is for your well-being. And to always be stuck in a 90 square foot box together, it can be a lot. And so I told her that I need to have experiences where I'm out doing on my own. And I didn't quite do that in the transition coming back home, which was my plan. And so that's something moving forward that has to happen for me. And I don't know in what capacity that will be, but it's something that I need to explore for myself. When I look at what I write, it's different from when you're doing your art and you put it out there and you can step back from it and look at, kind of look at it. The person that I am on paper in my poetry astounds me, because I feel like when I talk to people in real life, it's really hard for me to place what I'm feeling or what I'm trying to say. But rather, when I'm writing poetry, it's like there's this abstract art that comes out that I have to step back and be like, who is that? Take that person and learn from her. When I look at what I write, it's like kind of telling me, like, you need to jump inside of yourself a little bit more. And when you get out there in the world, use that to your advantage. Take more chances, take more risks. I had a couple people the other day tell me, like, you need to do something with this culinary. These are people that don't even know, haven't eaten my food, but they watch my process and they tell me, you need to get out there and take advantage. And it's so true. I don't want to put a stain on like my experience and what I'm able to do by not taking every opportunity or giving myself every opportunity. Anyways, I'm not going to say this is a rant, because I told Abby I think it's really important to sit and talk to you. You guys have been following us for a really long time. We have so many dedicated people here, and it means so much. And I think that it's important for people to be able to really to get to know us. And I think the only way to do that outside of the fun editing and our funniness is I'm a cartoon character most of the time. I'm very intuitive, have a lot in this heart that needs to come out. And so I think that it's fair that you should hear a lot of what's going on in my head. Yesterday, I didn't quite know how to say anything. I hope that this can help anybody that needs to be able to just kind of put themselves out there. Even if you're not telling somebody else, sit in front of a mirror. Talk to yourself. I don't think that's crazy. I talk to myself all the time. If I didn't talk to myself and get out the things that I need to say, I think I would implode. I really do. I think I'd have a lot more physical stress. It's never something anybody should have to deal with. You need someone to talk to. You need someone objective, but you also need to be able to check in with yourself and be honest with yourself about those things. I want you to take a deep breath. Exhale. Think about the things that really sit with you that you don't talk about. Or think about the person that you don't reach out to and tell them you love them. Think about the idea that you want to do, but you don't feel like it's going to work, so you don't go for it. People can get really frustrated that are bogged down and hear people trying to give advice, and a lot of the times people just need an ear, and I respect that. But I also respect tough love. I also respect candidness and candor, and I expect people to be able to do that for themselves and for other people, because people need that. And there's so many facets of me that I need to appreciate, and I want to be able to give to other people. The fact that I'm able to live this way and to be able to open up, I think that you deserve it. I think I deserve it. Anyways, cheers, you guys. We will be on the road pretty soon. After Florida, it'll be kind of the jumping off point. Right now, we are continuing to see friends and family, and then when we head north, I think really my mind can kind of sit and I can really jump into my art space. I want to write more for you guys. I want to be more just open, to be honest, and I want to be okay with not posting constantly. That's not what it's about either. You know, me and Abby may take a break on YouTube in a few weeks. It's important because social media is you always have the camera on, you know, no matter what, because you're piecing together your life in a week, every single week. And it can be a lot. It's something we love, absolutely, but it's also important to put down the phone, put down the camera, put down everything, and just sit. Try it out, and we love you guys, and I would love to end the video here, but Abby's gonna be like, all right, we have to do this and this and this. Thank you guys for listening.